Shot Yaar. Well, that's gone straight up in the air. Wall won't drop. There's no way in the world. He's dropped it. I can't believe it. What is going on?
पहले तो अल्लाह का बहुत बहुत शुक्र है कि अल्लाह ने इतना अच्छा
brilliant cricket, wonderful cricket by Pakistan. The fast ball was struck again. अगर सरफराज को ठंड लग गई या वो अनफिट हो गए तो टीम में कोई ऐसा खिलाड़ी है जो हंगामी तौर पर ये जिम्मेदारी कबूल कर ले?
इंशाल्लाह कोशिश करेंगे कि उसे ठंड ना लगे.
Captain Babar Azam and Chief Selector Inzamam ul Haq were given freedom and support in forming the squad for the ICC Cricket World Cup 2023. Looking ahead, the board will make decisions in the best interest of Pakistan cricket based on the team's performance in the World Cup. At present, the PCB encourages fans, former players and stakeholders to rally behind the team as they strive to make a triumphant comeback in the mega event. So this is PCB putting out a statement in the middle of a World Cup while the team is, we know they're struggling, but this statement is essentially, I'll just come out and say it. This statement is essentially saying that they have already decided that Babar Azam is not the captain of this team moving forward. I think the only thing that maybe changes that is if they somehow make it to the semis, win 4 games, some miracles happen and they make it through. But I think the writing is on the wall for this guy, and for them to put out the statement right now in the middle of a tournament is just bush league, right? Like, and the other part is that, this is Zaka Ashraf saving his ass, right? He's just coming out and saying, I have nothing to do with this. These guys chose their team, all 15 guys, Inzamam and Babar Azam, and this is on them, so don't look at me. What do you guys think? No intro. We're not doing intros on the show anymore. Everybody knows who we are.
So I basically think this is basically a shit show. Like, yeah, we're not doing well. We're struggling right now. But to come out in the middle of the World Cup and shitting on your captain, shitting on your selector, it just doesn't make any sense, especially when you're the chairman of PCB. This, like you said, it's clearly Zaka Ashraf saving his ass, saying, "Oh, मेरा कुछ काम नहीं है इसमें, जो भी करना है, finger pointing करनी है, इंजमाम पे करो, बाबर आजम पे करो." I just think that's embarrassing, and it shows this guy has never run a proper board or a corporation ever in his entire life. And if he carries on, I'm going to be honest, we're never going to win a World Cup. T20, one day, anything, we're not going to win. I also think Babar Azam should take the initiative himself and call a press conference as soon as possible and step down as captain, because even if we win the World Cup somehow, I don't see him carrying on as captain simply because of the statement that's come out. And even if we win, I personally don't want him to be captain anyway. So he should just come out and just step down right now. That's my perspective on it.
Yeah, is this another thing in the long line of like actions that PCB takes that just proves that's probably the most unprofessionally run board in the country? Like, I can't imagine any other country. Can you imagine any other country like England coming out with a statement like this? Like, please stop picking on us. Please support the team and like stop being like this in the media. And no other country would do this. And I think, like Ramesh says, like I think the writing's on the wall that this might be the end of Babar Azam. But there's so many better ways to go about it than releasing like a professional statement saying, please stop bullying us. Like, it just screams unprofessional.
Yeah, the funniest part of the whole thing is the fact that they're like cricket fraternity. They want everybody in the world to support Pakistan cricket team while they're struggling. Anyway, sorry, Sam, go ahead.
I don't know, man. I don't really have any thoughts on this. This is like a given. Zaka Ashraf is not going to be around for very long. And no one, you guys, I'm not saying he's going to die. He's just, chairman's, there's the election coming up the elections of Pakistan are coming up in November. And you guys know that the government usually selects the head. So depending on how things go, Zaka Ashraf's out on his ass again. And he's going to be remembered for just this crap. But, it's not like you guys think PCB is the most unprofessional. No, they're not. There's other boards. 2016 World T20 West Indies. They had zero backing from their West Indies cricket board.
Zen, look at the statement they're putting out. I think you're not putting enough.
No, I agree. I agree, but I think this is
make in the middle of a World Cup. This is.
I agree. They're the worst of the worst for sure. But the board. It always feels like, and it's felt like that for years. I think the only time when it in recent times it didn't feel like the board and the board and the players were disconnected, like how they are right now. And even with Najum City, they were disconnected. They've been feuding about pay, all this stuff. They've been disconnected. The only recent times I'd say when Ramiz was in charge, and then when Wasim Khan and Ehsan Mani, when they were like part of they were professionals, right? They were like running it like businesses. They'd worked in the Western world, so they didn't have that Pakistani culture crap in the way these guys do. So I think that the Pakistan cricket team and the board have always been disconnected. But this is, again, like you said, their way of getting out in front of it. And I'd love to see what they would say if like Pakistan somehow manages to come back and win the World Cup or something. Who are they going to throw under the bus for that statement then? But yeah, I don't think it's going to affect the team. I don't think the team is going to be affected by it. I think, do you know how many internal statements probably go out to the team before an external statement is made? Do you know what I mean? Right? Like, they probably said a ton of shit to Babar, Mickey, Grant Bradburn, the rest of the team. The only person that seems like he's unfazed by all this is Imam Haq.
Yeah, he's still doing his thing. But I actually think that something like this really impacts the team, and particularly the captain in this case.
100%.
I think, regardless of what they've probably told them beforehand internally, I think, imagine being Babar Azam right now. You're already being shit on for the last 48 hours. Everybody's talking about how bad you are at captaining. Everybody's talking about you not being informed, and then this statement comes out, and you're supposed to be the best batsman this team has ever. Like, come on, we can put everything aside. This is just a horrible way of treating your captain, regardless of whether you agree with his captaincy or whatever. Right? This is not for me. I like. We're talking about making a comeback in this World Cup. All that feels secondary to me right now. Like, I'm thinking about this more from like a systemic problem right now. This is, we've seen PCB do this before. They always pull this kind of shit. I don't remember if they've ever kind of put out a statement like this in the middle of a World Cup, though. I don't know if you guys remember anything like that.
I don't think they have. I don't
this
think
is
they
a
have,
new
but they
low
have
even for
treated
them.
they have treated players like trash. I think Misbah was one of the only mentally tough captains that we had that was able to kind of put that shit aside and come back stronger from it. But I remember Yunus Khan, he got shat on multiple times, and he mentally, like as a player, he was great, but I feel like mentally he was kind of weak because he'd always like dip and then come back and all that. But this is what we're gonna see. If tomorrow Babar comes out strong, then we know he's mentally tough, because that's what I want to see, what happens out of this. It's not like these issues are coming up and these things are happening for sure, and we should expect it to happen. It is a new low for them for sure, but I want to see how well he picks himself back up from this, because he's only 29. Right?
Yeah, 28, 29. I don't know.
He still has a good 5, 6, 7 years left in him. If he stays fit the way he is, if he stays he has a lot of life in him. So this is almost a make or break situation for him. Again, this whole tournament has been about his reputation. I've said that, it's come out like, it's Babar is like, he's destroying his own reputation with all this, but every day it feels like something new. So at this point, it's like people are trying to shit on him. Let's see how he comes out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys have anything to add there, but I was just going to say that I want Babar to win and perform well tomorrow, only for him and his own team. This board is really, like, I don't know, man. I feel emotional about this in a weird way. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the video of the pep talk that Babar was giving everybody at the training session today. And I felt bad for him, because he was trying to tell his team in Urdu. He was saying, we've done it before. Hum pehle kar chuke hain. If we put our minds to it, we can do it again. And I know he was pretty much saying that, it's looking like we're down right now, but we can pick ourselves up. And I got kind of emotional watching that, just because, look at what this guy has gone through for Pakistan cricket. Look at what he's done for Pakistan cricket. And for him to, and I agree with Ramiz, in the sense that if his captaincy tenure ends like this, it would be a shame for Pakistan, for cricket, for Babar, of course, and everybody involved. It's just a shitty way for things. But sadly, that's just how things go in Pakistan cricket. Go ahead.
Some of the greatest captains of all time, the greatest batsmen uh, and bowlers of all time have been treated like this over captaincy. Sachin, when he was captain, he was treated like this. Again, fantastic player, one of the best, but wasn't captain material. Ross Taylor, I read his autobiography, so that's why I bring him up. But he was treated like trash by team management. There's so much you don't understand like how much inner politics there is by like this was my mentor. We both played at the same district. We did this together. This is the guy that I looked up to as a kid. This is the guy that was like 3 years my senior. Blah 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 blah. All that shit. Like we don't know how much of like an effect that plays on who they choose to be captain and this and that and all that. But players have come out stronger. Sachin came out stronger. Ross Taylor came out stronger. And I have full faith that Babar is going to come out stronger from this. But it's a wait and watch situation.
Yep.
So I agree with you, Zain, that a lot of greats who were not very good captains were treated similar, but I don't remember seeing any of this in the media, right? Like everything that happened was happening behind closed doors, and that's how you handle a situation like this.
Mm-hmm.
Babar may be a bad captain, but he's not as bad as people and the board is making him out to be. We've been finalists, semi-finalists in the past few tournaments. Only last 2 Asia Cup and this World Cup has been like a really, really big low for him. Other than that, he hasn't been a terrible captain. Like a lot of other teams would be like, "Hame de Toyari captain." Other than that, the other thing I'd like to add is it's related to politics as well. But जैसी आवाम होती है उनको वैसा ही leader मिलता है, right? we had Ramiz Raja for a while. Everyone shat on him for the longest time for having poor pitches, right? But no one looked at the bigger picture after that. No one looked at, okay, this guy brought in a 6-team structure which would benefit the team in the longer run. Now Zakar Ashraf is back and he's eliminated that, and PIA and like fucking pipeline teams and shit, and all these bullshit teams are playing, right? Sorry?
I said Zakar Ashraf didn't eliminate that, but I know what you mean. Like it's when Imran Khan left as prime minister and Ramiz Raja left, and then it's like who's come in and whose government party they are part of, and who wants to shit on who, right? Like that's the whole thing around here. And I think, like, sorry, Ramiz, I just want to say one thing. Like, I think the PCB putting out a statement, okay, cool, they're just a bunch of old fucks that don't really know much. But then you have these former players that are coming out and saying shit, like even Wasim Akram and Shoaib Malik and stuff. That's depressing, dude. That's when
वही बात है ना, वही बात है. जैसी आवाम होती है वैसी leadership मिलती है आपको.
नहीं, लेकिन वो तो like
you don't see any players from any other team, any other country shitting on other players like this the way our players do. Like, okay, if you want to give constructive criticism, that's good. Like तमीज से दो, इंसानों वाली language use करो, right? But the way these guys talk about our players, it just feels like नौकर हैं, like they're big players, professional athletes representing your country. Talk about them with respect, give criticism with respect. Don't be disrespectful like they've been throughout this whole tournament. Like I like all these guys, Wasim Akram, Misbah, and all these guys. But the way these guys talk, you would think that these guys were part of the great Australian team that won 3 World Cups in a row. These guys didn't do shit when they were playing, right? Wasim Akram talks about, what did we have planned for Kuldeep Yadav? Bro, you were part of the 8-0 starting. 92 is when it started. You were part of that. 96 you were injured. 99 you were part of it. 2003 you were part of it. So if you want to criticize, do it with some, some matlab tamiz se karo. Matlab kuch talk something.
Yeah, have
sense.
respect
Don't
for
come
the
up
game.
with bullshit, man.
Because they're disrespecting the game more than they're disrespecting the players.
On that note, did you guys see what Akif Javed said about South Shakil?
No.
People are getting mad at him on Twitter. He was on a talk show and he said that South Shakil ki aap bazu dekhein, chote bazu hain, chote tange hain. He's short, right? And he was basically just making fun of his like physical appearance. And so while Ramiz was talking about, just the idea of having some manners, and when you talk about your cricketers on your team right now, I agree with that. But what I wanted to actually mention was our ex-cricketers talking shit is nothing new. this has always been going on, right? I think what's different to me this time is A, the statement came out from PCB, and they put out the statement, and B, I think Ramiz, you hit the nail on the head. You said, if you have a plan to remove this guy from captaincy, regardless of what you think of his captaincy, I don't even think this is about, for me, this is not about whether Babar is a good captain or not. For me, this is about how you handle the situation. Handle it properly. Like, if you have plans to take him out, do it, but do it in a way that, wait for the World Cup to end. Do whatever you want after that, right? Don't do this in the middle of a World Cup when the guys still have 4 games to play and they can still mathematically make the semis. Like, this is just, and that's the most insane part to me, is that you're putting this shit out there that is like an insult to the captain of your team. It's an insult to the entire team, basically. And now they have to go out and like play a big match tomorrow against a really good team, and it's just a shitty situation for everybody. I was watching Ramiz, you said sent Shadab Khan's presser today, and I was watching it. And I was thinking to myself, these guys are probably going through so much right now, and they have to come out and act like everything's all good. And I you know what? I actually applaud them for doing that sometimes, because I'm like, look at what they have to go through with our media, our fucking board, and they don't have the backing of anybody. Even their fans turn their back on them immediately when something goes wrong, and that includes us. I include us in that too.
Not me.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're one of the good ones. You're one of the good ones.
I'm the positive one. But if you think about it, and sorry, Hardest, I know you fucking put your hand up like 30 times here. You know what? You go. You talk.
No, you go ahead.
All I want to say is, dude, there is enough T20 cricket being played where they will make quadruple what they're making if they decided, you know what? If Babar decided, I'm just going to play T20 leagues around the world, and there is the South Africa Premier League, in the Emirates Premier League, whatever the LPL or whatever that one is, and the BPL. Those 3 are played at the exact same time, right? BBL, like he could play with any single one of those. The reason why he doesn't get selected in half of them is because his national duties come first. But he could literally play year-round in T20 leagues and not bat an eye and make mad money.
Yeah, but he won't get NOCs for that, right? You think a board as petty as ours will give him NOC to go play around?
But that's when he says, like, I'm done, right? Like, I'm not playing.
No, but they've also. I just want to mention that
you still need the NOC even if you're not central contracted.
Then he can come to Canada, and I will sponsor Babar as my brother. And I will get him citizenship in Canada.
4 साल लगेंगे, वो बुढ़ा हो
the global T20. On the point of NOCs, I just want to mention they've changed the rules around that. You can only get 2 NOCs in a year, and that includes PSL. So you can really only play one other league aside from the PSL.
But an NOC, if you have retired from international cricket, you can't play. How is that possible? Like, to
if you retire and like leave your country, you're allowed to play. You don't need an NOC.
If he says I'm retiring from Pakistan cricket, like, here's my resignation.
He can play wherever.
He can play wherever he wants.
This is for people who are on the central contract list. The list that we went through.
No, then so that's what I'm saying, is if he said, I'm done with Pakistan cricket, I'm playing
then he can do whatever he wants. He's not obligated under PCB contract.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Sorry guys, I just want to correct one thing. Even if you're not contracted, you still need NOC to go play outside. If you guys remember Amir's situation, they weren't letting him go play anywhere. It's the same situation.
Really? Okay.
You need NOC. Yeah, you need NOCs.
That's like handcuffing someone. Like, literally. That's
because I remember the Indian players that have a thing like no Indian players can play in any league. And then Yuvraj,
the thing is,
left his stipend or whatever. Yeah.
If they go do that, then they won't get a job in the IPL. They won't get a job as like any sort of coach, media, nothing. Like, anything that's involving Indian cricket will not give them a job. So they're allowed to go do it. I mean, you can't physically stop somebody from going to do it, but you're giving up a lot of opportunity, which is trash anyways. You might as well make shit tons of money invested and live your life. But anyways, continue. Hardest, please. You get the floor for the next 10 minutes.
Hardest finally gets to talk.
No, I'm trying to track back to where my point was. The point was I was trying to make. I was about to say to play like devil's advocate almost. The way how I roll is I honestly have have an issue with what the media is talking about. that's like their job. They're gonna say the most random stuff to like get clicks, whether it's actually talking like trash about Babar Azam and all these other like advocating for their own captains. Obviously, like Ramiz and Zain and you guys are saying, be respectful about it. But I have more of an issue with how the PCB is reacting to it, because ex-cricket, like Usman says, ex-cricketers will always be there. They're always going to talk shit about the team, no matter if they're winning championships, winning trophies. They're always going to have like things to pick on, because that's just their job. I have more of an issue with how the PCB is reacting, and like I think you guys are saying, tomorrow's like the biggest match for Babar Azam is probably in his entire life. Like the way he responds is going to be so huge for the direction of this team.
Yeah,
That's my thing.
and that's kind of what I was saying too. I think, like we expect this from our ex-cricketers. That's the way it's always been. But you
But
expect
ex-cricketers like Shoaib Malik, like people that just retired, Wasim Akram, who acts like he's the smartest guy in the room anywhere he goes.
we agree with you. We're just
Shoaib Malik hasn't even retired yet.
yeah.
Hey, don't hate on Shoaib Malik, okay?
We
Probably like, call me back.
biggest Shoaib Malik fan
Yeah.
over here. I'm just saying that's we're not like, disagreeing that they shouldn't do that. I will hate on Wasim Akram or Shoaib Malik for any Kamran Akmal is one of those guys too. He's been talking so much shit. Akif Javed has been talking a lot of shit. Sikandar
Bro,
Bhakt
you're
always talks
talking
a lot
about
of
like
shit. But that's how it's always been. This is nothing new. I'm just to Haris's point. I'm just PCB should know better. And regardless of what your intentions are after the World Cup, I'm just repeating myself here. But just do a better job of protecting your guys a little bit while they're in a foreign country trying to play a World Cup. दुश्मन मुल्क में जब गए तो protect them a little bit, as Akash would say.
They're gonna retract the statement.
I mean,
They're
retract?
gonna come
Yeah,
back
it's
with
already.
some
What do you
bullshit.
mean? You can't retract a press release. What the fuck are they gonna do?
No, but they're
Damage is
gonna
already
like come
done,
back
what are you
and
gonna
say
do about
something.
it?
No,
New
they're
press
gonna come
release,
back and
never
say
mind.
something.
New press
No, we
release.
didn't mean
We love
this.
Babar
We didn't
Azam.
mean
We
this.
are all in on
Yeah,
Babar
they're
Azam.
gonna come back and say something because they're getting so much hate. They kind of, they shoot from the hip.
And
They
so,
don't think,
while we're talking about this, I also want to mention that Ahsan Nagi, I don't know if it's Nagi or Nagi, but the media manager for PCB, who has been with this team for the last 2 years, he's been sent home from India. And they've sent...
why?
I'm assuming it has to do with all this, right?
I think my theory is that he didn't want to publish this, but they're like, no, you have to publish it or just go back home. I think that's what it is.
And they've sent their own guy, right? Umar Farooq, who has been the PCB media manager in the past. If you guys remember that video saga that happened, I think he was the media manager when that happened. I could be wrong, but anyways, he's been the media manager before under Najan Sethi, I think. So he's been sent there, or maybe he's not there yet, but I think that's what I saw on Twitter. So, but Ahsan Nagi for sure has been sent back home. So whatever you make of this is a whole circus, right? They to do, and again, I'll go back to saying that you're doing all of this in the middle of the night before a World Cup game for Pakistan, which happens to be the most important one for them. I think it's just poor. You got to do better. And I want to take this discussion into, before we do, we'll do a quick review of the game because there's a couple things that happened there too. But I want to talk about overall, Pakistan cricket after this World Cup is done. I don't know about you guys. I'm not even thinking about this World Cup and how they perform really anymore. I'm just more concerned about what the long-term future looks like for Pakistan cricket and PCB. What do you guys want to see happen? What should happen? I mean, I think Babar's not going to be captain after this, regardless of, even if they make the semis, I think they probably take him out anyways. What is ideal case scenario? And you can talk about captaincy. Dr. Naman Niaz today said that Imam ul Haq is probably going to get the captaincy in test.
Dude.
And so maybe we can spend the next few minutes on that. Just go ahead. I saw you raising your hand.
Things that would be ideal in an ideal world: total restructuring, tear everything down, start from the bottom, get rid of Babar can stay purely on his batting ability. Shaheen can maybe stay, and then just force everyone else to earn their spot back in domestics. Outside of that, have some sort of professionalism in the system. Have domestics actually count. Have a merit-based selection system, not just on who and who the chief selector is automatically gonna pick Imam ul Haq to open a T20s, which is probably gonna happen as long as you have Inzi. This is if I had like full control, I would
Hey.
like tear everything down. I would start over like from scratch. Because there's
Yeah.
so many issues. Like you can't just appoint a new like director of cricket, fire him after 3 months, go back to Inzamam, and keep doing this like roundabout carousel circus thing, and you're not gonna get results like that. Tear it all down, and
Bro,
then
there's so
from the ashes rises the phoenix.
Yeah, that's exactly what
the
my,
issue-
my thing was going to be too. Exactly what you
But
said.
you gotta chill on Inzamam, man. He didn't. You gotta
See,
chill
the
on
issue
Inzamam
with
right
the
now.
issue with tearing everything down is that's not going to fix anything, right? Because you tear everything down and then you start building up again, and then you appoint a chairman, and the next political party comes in, and then he replaces the chairman again, right? The issue we have is the chairman itself. I don't think it's like everything else comes after that. It's like a company. The CEO is the one making all the decisions, guiding the company in a direction, right? We had Ramiz Raja, who was doing a really good job, in my opinion. We apparently had like the best revenue from PSL ever, and the pitches, I agree, they were terrible, terrible pitches, but it was an experiment, right? He was trying something new to make a difference. The people now, they're not doing anything. The other day, yesterday, I think, where Simon Ayub scored a double century. These guys scored 750 runs in one inning, man. How are you supposed to get good batsmen, good bowlers if you haven't have issues like that? right?
I'll just say
Pitches
that
should be the primary focus.
As much as we shit on Ramiz Raja for those pitches in those two series, he had a longer term plan. You're right, Ramiz. He had a longer term plan. He wanted to do drop in pitches, and he needed money for that, right? And he said that on his YouTube channel or in an interview that we need more money, we need more funds to be able to get those things for our system. And by the time he he could finish anything, he was promptly fired and somebody else was brought in, right? So yeah, I do like the idea of a complete teardown. I think I see Ramiz's point in that because the PCB is a government institution. By the time the next government comes, everything is different.
That's a big concern of mine. Why does the government have any say in how cricket is run?
That's beyond us, though, man.
Yeah,
That's
now we're getting to
all day.
politics, right? Like,
Yeah.
Right, yeah, but like I can't imagine like there's like Pakistan elections that my family's talking about. I could care less about, but until I realize like, oh, if they're like so and so comes back from whatever party, oh, Safraz could be back as captain. Like, can you imagine? Like, I follow basketball. If like Joe Biden wins re-election, like I'm not worried. Oh, what does that mean for the NBA? We're like, how are we going to restructure the whole system? I think it's just like, why is the government even involved? And I know we're probably going beyond the scope of this discussion, but it's like, it's just stupid that like the government.
It is stupid because changes can't get implemented because of that, right? Like there's an external factor that no one has any control over. It's literally tied to like the democracy of the country.
Like, why does
I use democracy very, very, very loosely.
Does any other country like have does their like government have can dictate what their cricket board can do? Like PCB is not a government institution, but like look what
the poorly run boards are like that. Sri Lanka, West Indies, I think those have government interference for sure.
That's really dumb.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say for now. Yeah.
So, but it's done in a way where because the ICC says like you can't have like the government can't control it, but it's done in a way where they choose their own PCB head and whatnot, and they're allowed to do that, but they're not directly controlling the cricket board. But I'm with Ramiz. The pitch is where it starts. The domestic structure is where it starts. Like it's almost like you have like a funnel, right? And it's like, okay, it's like trash, but you at the bottom, you're building it up with good shit, and then you're pushing it forward, and slowly the trash falls out of the funnel, right? So it's like we're not emptying the funnel, we're still leaving it full, but we're injecting new shit into it, and then we're letting that take over. So I agree, full teardown will never work. But I think there needs to be some structural changes as well in the way things are handled, where there needs to be some areas where it's like they govern themselves almost, right? Like there can't be interference. Like it has to be in a way where pitches of like I don't know, does like how like India has like their shit, man, I don't know, like the only one I could think of is the Hyderabad like cricket board, right? So they have their state boards. Does Pakistan have that? They don't, right?
I don't know. Do we? I don't.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because like I've never heard like the Rawalpindi State Board or like the
Oh,
Rawalpindi
Rawalpindi
Cricket
is a
Board or anything.
city. They have like usually for provinces, right? They have like Gujarat
The
and
Sindh
shit
Cricket
like
Board.
that. Maybe. Yeah. I don't.
Well, whatever it may be, the province or I've never heard anything like that. I think there needs to be like a structure like that almost where you want to produce, like, you want to take advantage, you curate, you do it, and then there's somebody that oversees where it's like, okay, this needs to be to this standard. We want to, like, you got to look at where you're playing and what you want to do. The drop in pitches was a good. I agree with Ramiz on that too. Like, I really liked Ramiz Raja as a, like, he had some outrageous ideas and he talked a lot, but I knew where his head was at and his long term plan was really good. But you got to start like grassroots.
Yeah. I'll be the first to admit that I shit on him a lot for those bad pitches, but I realized later that he had a long term plan. But yeah, dude never got to like finish it, right? I think the leash that everybody gets in this role is like 3-4 years, one World Cup cycle, and then new dude comes in.
Barely.
New dude who was previously PCB chairman comes in, and it's a carousel of same shit, right? I want to ask.
I would have loved to see. Yeah, I'm saying I would have loved to see the 6-team domestic structure for like 10 years.
Yeah,
and like see the players and what it turned out.
And he had the junior PSL, and
that was fun.
Fucking
the
was shitting on it so much, and we made fun of his tweet that he did when he came back. He was shitting on that, and he was like, "Oh, it made no money." Yeah, you don't expect those kinds of programs to make money in their first year, right? It's a new thing where they're trying it out. It's supposed to be for developing talent at the same time, and hopefully it becomes. He wanted to do the women's PSL too, right?
That would have been really good.
And so all these great ideas that he had. Anyway, I think
I think that junior PSL, even if it didn't make money for 10 years, the amount of talent we would have seen come out from that was going to be
incredible. It would have paid a lot 100%.
It would have paid 100%, because you're giving such a huge platform to such young kids. They get to showcase their talent, and everyone watches them on TV, right?
And
I don't know. I think Sayamayu was one of them as well. But yeah, just nothing ever
Sayamayu played regular PSL.
And like, why do fans care if the PCB makes money? I just want good players. I don't get why that was such.
No, we do want them to make money, obviously, because then it, training facilities, it supports the infrastructure, right? But you make a surplus of money on certain things so you can put it into investments that will pay you returns later on, right? That's the PSL. That's the women's team. Dude, our women's team can be really good. Like, they have such good talent, but like they don't have the resources. Yesterday. They don't have any resources.
Yeah.
And we got smacked by, that's Bangladesh, and you're playing on Bangladesh.
You know what they need to do? They need to eat more protein, I think, with Imam ul Haq.
Hey man, this is a serious podcast, all right?
Yeah, this one is a bit like there's no jokes in this one.
We're all wearing black.
I'm trying to
mourn the death of Pakistan cricket.
So okay, let me transition this conversation into who do you guys want as captain after the World Cup? It can be Babar. You can choose Babar as.
I'm just kidding.
If it's Imam, man, I want Pakistan to like lose miserably for the next 6 months. I want him to get humiliated, and then then they're gonna be like, "Oh, Imam, he's not a very good captain." And then, but if it's Sarfaraz, then I really want him to do well, because he plays at every single, like, I don't hear him complain. He gets shat on. He comes in, he performs. He gets left out. He still performs in domestic. He captains teams. He's trash in the PSL, but that's okay. If it's Sarfaraz, then I will back him fully.
He just won player of the tournament domestically. That's no small.
Yeah, he did.
He's a good captain, and people are happy. Shadab, Ahsan Nagi, like Shaheen. I don't know about Shaheen. I don't think he's ever played. Yeah, he probably has played under him, but people are happy playing under him. It's not like they're not.
So Sarfaraz is actually 36 years old, 36 years and 157 days old. Right now.
I was just that.
We're not playing another. We're not playing another ODI for another 13 months. So by the time he gets to captain the ODI team, he's going to be 37.
They did him so dirty, man.
Change. So
yeah,
I think Sarfaraz shouldn't even be in the conversation.
He happens to be. I won't even mention it.
What?
I won't even mention what his relationship to Sarfaraz. Sarfraz Ahmed is.
It's barely there. It's not like
But let's like in all honesty, like I think if you wanna, like I think Rizwan is the best choice just because
he's
of
the only choice.
positivity.
he's the only choice, right? He's the only reasonable choice.
He's the
here?
only choice.
Yeah, he is the only, and Iftikhar too. I think I'd put Iftikhar in the mix for
What
sure.
the fuck are you saying? This guy wants
I would.
Iftikhar?
He has
Might
the
as well make
respect of the
Imam
team.
then.
He on the-
Yo, if the Khar doesn't come out with fucking trash statements, he doesn't put other people on the team down.
Hold
He
on.
doesn't
I
talk
want
garbage.
to see.
Imam
Mere
all
bhai,
around is a, and I can't even say
Bro,
this.
Ifti's
Bad
not
words.
even confirmed spot in the team.
Has he
is.
captained
How can he
anywhere
make him
ever?
captain, bro?
Imam
Yeah,
is
he-
dropped. Imam
Yeah,
is
he
dropped
did. He did.
where's
He captained
Ifti at?
in GT20, actually.
And they got to the
That's
final.
barely a league.
And they
Yeah,
lost the
that's true,
final.
it
They
is.
No.
got slapped.
Okay.
But they
But-
got there.
Anyways,
Yeah, sure. It's GT20, bro. Who cares? Iftikhar, man, he doesn't have a spot in the team, and there's no way he becomes a captain.
Dude, Imam is gonna get dropped for tomorrow.
Not from Test cricket. No, he's not gonna get dropped from Test cricket for sure.
Oh, because he scored a century on a road. Woo. Anyways, man,
He's
I'm
got-
not
he's
saying
got-
this
he's
to you,
got
I'm just
Inzamam.
getting angry.
Yeah, Ifti is a terrible pick.
No, I don't
I'll
like
just say
Imam.
that.
I think ODI's Imam is. I mean, I can't even say that now. Over the last 10 games, but I would say Rizwan. If he has a chance, but Rizwan.
Haris wants Sarfraz, obviously.
No. I'm not gonna. No, I want. I mean, like obviously, like, just for the networking, for the free tickets and such. But like, has to be Rizwan. It's got to be Rizwan. Outside shout, Imad Dasim, just for the limit overs teams, but it's got to be Rizwan.
But don't you guys
want to make
कैसे
Imam
लोगों के साथ
captain?
podcast कर रहे हैं हम लोग यार? कैसे लोगों के साथ podcast कर रहे हैं
Yeah,
हम लोग?
okay,
यार?
hold
If
on.
he
I
was-
want to ask you guys. I want to ask you guys something. I want to ask you
Captain?
guys something. Hold on.
Oh my
You're
God.
like the captaincy discussion. Like, okay, I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he was there. We got into a discussion about Sarfraz, and he was saying that Sarfraz would be a great captain. I said the same thing, Ramiz, you did, right? That he's 36 years old. He hasn't been a main part of the team for a long time. Why Sarfraz? And he's like, oh, he has a great, he's a great cricketing mind. And I'm like, okay, sure.
That's true.
I'll let's not push it a little bit, but even if he is, I'll give you that, even if he is a brilliant cricket mind, do you want a 36-year-old captain right now for like, how long is he going to captain? 1 year, 2 years maximum?
Dude, Misbah captain until he was 40.
And that's the point that he brought up. And I was like, okay, but at some point you need to start grooming somebody who's a little bit younger, right?
But that's the whole point, right? Is that this is what we're talking about, is that Babar never had somebody that he could look up to and do that.
So you
with,
want Sarfraz
right?
to come in so
Maybe
he can groom somebody?
No, but Sarfraz does have a good captaining mind, man. He won the under-19. He's won tournaments.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Right?
not
He's a
saying
winner.
he hasn't
Won
won
big
anything. I'm just
tournaments.
saying we need to look past some of these guys now, man. Like they're old. I don't know.
I'm arguing the argument. I'm arguing the argument. I still think Rizwan is number one, but you can't say like you're.
What about somebody like Shaheen?
He would get injured like 3 games in.
See,
We need a
right
vice
now,
captain.
I'm not too happy with Shaheen. I feel like he's
But
part of.
don't
like,
look at it right now. I know
the
he's been
infighting
bowling.
and the
He hasn't
dissent.
been bowling that well. Don't look at don't look at his
Okay,
form.
then fast bowling. No, I think a fast bowler shouldn't be a captain.
Agreed.
Why?
He already plays too much as it is. He needs to take his time in between.
No, but
Like,
what's
look
the
what happened
reason
to
you don't want a
Wasim,
fast
man.
bowler
They
as a
kept
captain?
playing him, kept playing.
What tactically? What difference does that make?
I don't like he was captain in Lahore Qalandars. T20s is very different.
I
from
thought
ODIs.
he was.
We've all
I thought
said
he
that.
had some out of the box idea. We've been talking a lot about like not being.
I honestly don't
captain,
remember his
right?
captaincy.
He promote. Well, I don't know. If this is like an out of the box. If you consider this or not, but he promoted himself to number 4, right, in a couple of matches. It paid off a couple
In the
times.
final, he did great.
Shadab did the same thing in Islamabad United. Paid off dividends.
Yeah, but so
He used
things
to
like
score
that, right?
60 to
Like
80 runs.
Used to come at number 3.
yeah, that's just like maine batting karni hai. I'm the captain. I'm going. I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
But he did
I'm
well,
gonna
and
save the
he
team.
did well
He
though.
did great, right? Like out of the box ideas are good, but how long are they sustainable for?
I just, who said Imad Wasim?
Match
Was it you?
awareness, yeah. Dumb
He,
parts off
okay,
the pod, man.
I'm saying no. I'm a supporter of Rizwan for captain, but I'm saying Imad Wasim, decent cricket mind. Like I'm just as an outside option because he might be the only other option.
Cricket,
available. I like
cricket
him better
mind
than
based
Shaheen.
on
Bro.
has he captain anywhere else? I don't know if he has.
He won
Karachi
PSL
Kings.
2020. He won PSL.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, who won him that PSL? Remind me,
Babar.
please. Exactly.
But who is captain? But
He
who is captain?
single-handedly, Babar single-handedly won that PSL. That
I'm gonna go watch
And so
Babar.
see, that's
No
the
one
thing,
had
right? You guys
any
are
other
talking
input.
about like everybody loves to bring up Sarfraz's Champions Trophy 2017, right? That was almost entirely done by Hassan Ali, and Shadab was a big part of that team.
Fuck her.
Fakhar Zaman was a
But
big part of that team.
listen,
It wasn't because of like
listen.
Sarfraz.
Batting. Can I just say something? Batting. There's a batting order, right? You don't mess with that too much. Match awareness, yeah. Like the way you would mess with that is if you're at 300, you got 2 wickets down, and instead of sending like Saud Shakil, you send Iftikhar when you're at like 45 overs, right? That's where batting comes in, and I think all of us could maybe do a pretty good job of that. But a fielding captain, you're talking about the bowlers that did well. Who rotated their bowlers at the right time? Who picked those people? Right? Who was like, okay, this person's come in. Okay, you now come bowl. Who was like, okay, strike bowler comes in now after we've got a wicket. Who was doing that? The captain does that, right?
Yeah, but
So you're talking about
by
Champions
your
Trophy
point, I would
2017.
argue that a bowling captain would be more aggressive while bowling, wouldn't he? Just naturally, right? He's more.
Shaheen just does all 10 overs in one spell of his.
The thing,
And it
win
wouldn't
it for us.
yeah.
I'm doing it.
the thing I've seen with bowling captains in the past. I've seen this in like bowling captains a lot, especially like Pat Cummins. They like historically they always tend to either underbowl or overbowl themselves, and I've always just been a fan of like batsmen being captains because on the field you're not going to worry about in my next over I need to hit on this line, I need to get this amount of swing. A batsman's on the field, they're only worrying about the field placements and where am I going to position myself and like how am I going to manage my bowlers. They don't have that extra load on top of them when they're on the field of bowling themselves.
Yeah, Pat Cummins has been criticized for being a little bit defensive too, right? So there's that.
But he doesn't. Yeah, but it's like the criticism comes in not as strong of a.
What do you guys
like? It's crazy. Like,
what do you guys think of Sean Masood?
England has one shit person, Michael Vaughan, that shits on the team, and like everybody else, nobody else talks like he does, and he's probably even step lower than Pakistanis.
And that's why he doesn't even get any platforms on any TV channels.
Yeah.
He's only on Twitter.
Other than Twitter, yeah, he doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think of Sean Masood?
5 years ago, I would have been a big fan. I just think he's also.
That's what I've been saying. This guy should have been.
I think he's a great player. Yeah.
I'm big on Sean Masood, man. I think he should have been in a mainstay in the Test team and the ODI team. He was good for us in T20. Sure. Even in the last World Cup, he was good for us, man. The one that he
was probably our best batsman.
Like everybody was shitting on him for playing slow, but I thought the problem wasn't that he was in the team. The problem was that you had too many of Sean Masood's type of player in that team.
The problem also is the way they bring these players in. The way they bring these players in, you have no doubt but to question like the way they bring them in.
Inzamam is like talking to Sean Masood on the side in the middle of that game.
He's standing on the sidelines giving him water and just trying to chat his ear.
Yo, you want to be captain, Sean Masood?
Yeah.
All right, man. I just wanted to ask you guys, like, what
listen, you guys. I had said last time. Sorry, man. I'm getting a little like
heated.
Jizbati.
Did
I say that right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Okay, well, fucking give me props for it.
You're not that unpardoned.
Yeah. Show that watch again, hottest.
I like it. Mechanical Zana market.
Yeah, I like that. I was like, screw this South Africa match, like whatever. But I'm supporting Babar, bro. I'm getting up at 2:30 tomorrow.
That's exactly, dude. I just want him to do well for himself and his guys. I don't care about fuck everybody else.
I'm gonna send him the link to this pod on his Twitter account.
Babar, we're all Babar stands now. We're all gonna start a Facebook page about Babar.
No, there's like as parents, like when one, like you're pissed at your kid and then your wife's pissed too and one of them yells at your kid and then you're like, yo, like you didn't have to say that. Don't yell at him, right? You feel so bad. Yeah. Like I was annoyed, but you didn't have to go that far. Dude, that's how I feel right now. That's literally how I feel. That's a great analogy. Yeah. That's literally how I feel.
I'll take your word for it.
My wife does it and I'm like, don't you dare say a word to my son.
Like it's just you swoop in and you're already annoyed and you're like that just washes away. That's literally how I feel, man.
All right. So the game is tomorrow. This podcast is kind of we weren't supposed to do this, but we decided to do an emergency podcast for the PCB release, presser release. So let's do a quick review. We did one in the last episode, but let's just do a quick one. Looks like Hassan Ali has a fever, dengue probably. Maybe that'll reset his mind.
Dangy gang.
So yeah, it looks like he's
Shaman
out.
gilded this.
Looks like Mohamed Wasim Jr. is going to be in for him, or some people are saying Abroad Ahmed, but I don't think those people know how the reserves work because if he goes out, then he can't play the next 3 games. Hassan Ali.
I'm so tired of people hearing like, "Oh, play Muhammad Haris." I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't. What do you guys think, man? How are we looking tomorrow?
Big fat L.
Big fat L.
Yeah, making predictions. Yeah, we're gonna lose.
No.
Yeah, see, this
I
is the
don't think
thing,
so,
right?
man. I think the boys are coming back tomorrow.
I think they're coming back tomorrow too.
boys,
And I think
yeah.
if Babar, we talked about Babar handling this kind of thing. I think this is just me being emotional, but I hope he handles it well, and I hope he gets the win. It's just this would be a very Pakistan thing, right? Everything is just fucking going to shit, and then you come out and win against the best team who scored like 400 runs in the last 3 games, and that would be the most Pakistan result of all time. But yeah, hopefully, we'll be up watching the game in like 12 hours from now. So yeah,
Honestly, man, win or lose, like I want Babar to perform. I want the team to show unity. Win or lose, I want it to be where I'm proud of them, even though they lost. Whatever happens, if it goes that way, but it won't.
yeah,
this
is kind of the end of an era too, right? Like Babar has been around as a captain for quite some time, and this is it, man. I made a very emotional Instagram post. I don't know if you guys saw it on our account yesterday about Babar, and yeah, I if these are going to be his last 4 games as captain of Pakistan, then I hope he does well. I hope he's these guys stay united and do something good. I got nothing.
And in the words of Ali Zafar, on a Tuesday, Pakistan has beaten South Africa on Friday.
Oh yeah,
Not will beat, has beaten.
I saw that. Yeah, that was some next level confidence.
Yeah, man, that's what we need, man. Make Ali Zafar the next captain, yo.
Make him the PCB chairman.
Straight,
Selector too.
Yeah. Haris, do you know who Ali Zafar is?
Bro, now you're just insulting.
Awesome, you guys.
All right. Thanks.
Ramiz, you better get up, bro. Don't get up at like 8 a.m. and be like, oh.
Bro, I got a flight tomorrow. I'm gonna miss half the match.
Man.
You're gonna miss half the match?
I don't know. We'll see. I have a long day tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's Friday, man. Watch the game and then go for Juma right after. That's the plan.
Me and Usman are pretty much bums.
Yeah, but I have to go for a wedding after too.
Wedding क्या यार छोड़ो किसकी शादी है
वही तो Ismail Jangda. I'll send him this podcast. Maybe he'll listen.
इसका नाम ले लिया
बेचारे का.
Full name ले लिया बेचारे का. He's a
Yeah, why don't you tell his Reddit handle to Usman and he can blow that up too?
I know, right?
I took Harith's out on his request. I took his help.
No.
Even when you said it, I was like,
well, I didn't know it was that big of a deal because, like, I don't know what your post history is like for all of you, but I didn't. I wouldn't care if somebody was send my Reddit username on.
I don't want you to read all the Safraz Ahmed fan fiction I wrote on my account. So
yeah, erotic Safraz Ahmed fan fiction. Oh man,
what would it be called? What would be the title of his Safi Bhai? Safi Bhai Big Don.
He has so much sexual frustration. That's why he's always yelling in the field,
yelling behind the stumps at everybody. I don't know. I think everybody rates Sarfraz a bit too highly. I think he's a bit overrated as captain. Bring Sham.
I respected him.
Bring Sham.
He won 11 T20 series in a row.
That was a big achievement. Yes, I remember that. That was a big achievement.
Bro, it wasn't
a Shammies either.
I was saying by default, I think Sarfraz is like the second best captain for Pakistan ever.
Who's first?
Imran Khan. Imran Khan is
imagine he said like
chill, man. Misbah is pretty up there, you guys.
Has Misbah won a ODI trophy?
Yeah,
Misbah was good in Test
trophies,
cricket.
man. Like you guys are talking only he won this many trophies. Misbah, look at when he came in as captain. He came in at the lowest point of Pakistan cricket. He revived that.
He took the reins from the greatest captain of all time, Salman Butt.
यार बकवास नहीं करो तुम मेरे साथ.
That's true, man. Bro, bring back Salman Butt.
Shit, I did. I cracked Salman open, yo. Fuck, finally. Okay, man, let's wrap this shit up. This was supposed to be 30 minutes.
Wrap it up. This is a full podcast episode. Okay. Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
I
listening.
guess.
We'll be back on Sunday for the post game episode after the South Africa
Definitely.
game. Yeah, definitely. And we're gonna have a special guest with us, so he'll be on the show as well. Yeah, thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at shot_yar. Follow us on TikTok at shotyar and visit us at shotyar.com. Thanks for listening. YouTube at Shot Yaar as well. Thank you. It's too many social.